Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. Sorry, I had to do that. So U.S. Chamber of Commerce files brief calling out the SEC for refusing to answer which digital assets are securities, saying its actions are unlawful. The SEC's delay is causing great economic harm. It's causing great economic harm to us, the retail investor that holds XRP. We want our XRP to skyrocket already. Stop delaying the case and wrap it up. Let's go. But what does Brad have to say about the case? Take a listen.
Well, the case against Ripple by the United States SEC started 2.5 years ago, so it's certainly been a bit frustrating and slow, but the good news is we're at the end of that journey. And while others in the crypto industry might be at the beginning of that journey, the silver lining for Ripple has been that we're kind of at the end. Sometime, I would say, between the next 2 and let's say 6 months, I expect a resolution. The judge in the United States has been fully briefed. She has the decision on her plate. A federal judge can operate on whatever timeline in this case she would like, but I'm optimistic we're going to see resolution, I believe, before the end of Q3.
So there you have it. He says 2 to 6 months, but other people are already saying end of next month, as Bill Morgan says here. So the CEO's words have caused quite a hot dispute in the XRP community, given that the fate of XRP as a cryptocurrency must be decided in this case. Many remembered how Garlinghouse had previously expressed optimistic predictions which tended not to come true. The last such prediction was that the case would be over as early as the first half of this year. As one of the dissidents sarcastically noted, Garlinghouse's statement about the resolution of the SEC case before the third quarter means it will likely be in 2024. A response came from a man of few words, Bill Morgan, a pro-crypto lawyer who often publicly expresses his opinions on XRP and Ripple and the SEC. Morgan responded to the previous note, stating that Garlinghouse's estimate of 2 to 6 months for the resolution of the SEC case against Ripple is likely accurate, and it could even be resolved next month. If it came to an end next month, that would be absolutely great, because I'm tired of talking about this case. But I do talk about it because I want to bring you all the news around it at the same time. And then there's Hester Peirce, who says that I would argue that looking at tokens as securities is problematic. Even if a token is sold as part of a securities offering, the token itself would not be the security. Take a listen.
Clearly, there's uncertainty. People in good faith are trying to do securities analysis, and they're not understanding how to do it. That's a problem.
So apart from clearly defining when is a security not a security and not pursuing people retrospectively, what are the other big gaps that you see in your regulatory framework? I mean, one that's been identified here is a lot of debate, and we had not very good on-office session on it recently, is about the definition of property, and there are some gaps in how you define property in the digital space. I wonder, what gaps do you see in America?
Well, I think 2022 taught us a lot of lessons around the fact that crypto intermediaries have a lot of the same problems as non-crypto intermediaries. And I think, so one could argue, I think there's a lot the industry can do itself to put in some protections, to be more skeptical, to do much more introspection. But one could argue you should have a federal regulatory framework that covers the big crypto intermediaries. And I think that does probably require more legislation to decide who should be doing that regulation. I would argue that looking at tokens themselves as securities is often problematic. Sometimes a token carries with it an ownership interest in something, in which case it looks more like a traditional equity security, or it carries with it some stream of payments that may make it look like a security. Even if something is sold, a token is sold as part of a securities offering, it's not clear to me that the token itself would be the security. And so I think another gap is you could argue there's a need for a disclosure regime to address information asymmetries in the person or group of persons who's issuing a token and the people buying it.
So XRP, in her opinion, was never a security at all. And the token itself would never be looked at as a security, but yet Gary Gensler's calling it a security, and there's no laws put in place either. You know, I played in a video yesterday how over in Dubai, you could walk into with a regulator and sit down and say, this is what I'm looking at, and how would I move forward? And they have the ways right there for you. They say, this is the path you must take. Here in the U.S., they tell you, come in and meet with us. They have no path at all to give you. So instead of trying to help you, all they do is bring lawsuits against you or shake you down for money. That's exactly what's going on. And that's why it's so important to get regulations around crypto inside the U.S. so everything can push on, so innovation can strive and grow in this country. The SEC has a structural problem, but it also has a Gary Gensler problem, Warren Davidson, congressman. And you know, that's because Gary doesn't answer any questions. Look at how pathetic he looked in front of Congress. That right there should have been grounds for him to be fired from the SEC are forced to step down. If you can't answer any questions, what are you even doing there? How are you ever going to protect retail investors moving forward? You're not. What a week. First, confirmation Quant was involved with BIS and Bank of England, and now confirmation Ripple was involved with BIS, Project Polaris, and that's an online and offline CBDC. And I think what's going on right now is we're in a consolidation phase around the banks. That's why when a bank collapses, all of a sudden a bigger bank comes in and swallows them up. But as that consolidation continues, CBDCs are going to amp up all around the world. And I think that's where we are right now, because there's a lot of talk right now about CBDCs again. BIS comes out with offline CBDC today, while China has been using offline CBDC since January. China, CBDC, WeChat, Alipay, FOMOPay, Ripple, on-demand liquidity, XRP. Only a matter of time. And you know, one of the biggest things I would love to absolutely see right now is that China or Russia comes out and talks about Ripple, talks about XRP and on-demand liquidity. And I do believe that's only a matter of time. Brazil going big with RippleNet. India going very big with Ripple as well, and XRP. South Africa in the past has worked with Ripple. Why would the other two not work with Ripple and XRP? I think we're going to get that announcement eventually. Internet of value versus store of value. This is being talked about again, and most people don't understand the difference. So you see, Bitcoin use case, store of value, poor medium of exchange, slow transactions, and high fees. Internet of value, XRP use cases, Ripple, Interledger, RippleX. Medium of exchange, store of value, bridge currency, bank-to-bank payments, smart contracts, micropayments, instant cross-border settlements, securities, FX settlements, sourcing global liquidity. And we knew all along that XRP was the internet of value, and so does Vitalik Buterin. Take a listen.
That's really what Ethereum is. You know, people talk a lot about things, talk about cryptocurrency 2.0 being like the internet of value. We're not the internet of value. Ripple is the internet of value.
So there you go. Ripple is the internet of value. And you know, a lot of people still don't understand how big XRP is going to become over time. We're still very early, I think. Everything's getting laid out. That massive payment network all throughout the world right now. Once XRP starts flowing, look out. All of a sudden, you will realize you are holding the greatest cryptocurrency of all time. Now let's take a good look at this. This is absolutely pathetic, and this guy should just quit his job and go home.
Crypto bros make money literally by making money, and they've made over $1 trillion out of thin air. They'll accuse the U.S. government of making money out of thin air. Maybe we do, but we're the U.S. government.
Right there is why this country is in a pile of debt and continues to stack up on that debt. And that's why I said there's no hope with the economy right now. Inflation's going to go much higher. And at the same time, we still have countries coming for the US dollar. Look at the BRICS. Wait until the Operation Sandman really goes into effect. I think they're going to hit phase 2 in August of this year. Once that continues on, the US dollar is done. And it's guys like this that got us to the point where we are now. That guy's an absolute embarrassment to the US. So JP Morgan calls for people who tweet to short banks to be punished by the government with the full force of the law. So they don't want you shorting the bank anymore. And I'm sure a lot of people are taking advantage of it. Because every time there's any kind of chaos in this country or catastrophe, people tend to cash in. Look at '08. A lot of people got rich and other people lost everything. And it's going to happen again because history repeats itself. Just in, IRS has hit FTX exchange with almost a $42 billion tax bill. And you knew this was coming. It doesn't matter how many retail investors lost their money with the collapse of FTX. Guess what? The IRS still wants their cash. That's why I always tell people, around crypto, eventually, once you cash out, you're going to pay capital gains. If you don't, they're going to come and find a way to find you with for that tax money. That's why Elizabeth Warren sees it so important to take a look into our crypto holdings. She wants to know exactly how much crypto me and you hold. It's not about how much crypto we have. It's about how much taxes are we not paying? How much taxes are they missing out on? And again, the tax man wants everything, and we pay too many taxes in this country. And everything is in that direction because we live in such a greedy government ran country, that they don't care about me or you, period. But they don't want us to get rich along the way while they enrich themselves. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you watching my videos. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.